Professionals later.
Exactly.
Welcome to True Crime, False Crime. I'm your host, Jordan Katcher, and I'm here to ask our contestants a question as old as the premise for this show. Was that a true crime or a false crime? We are here today with Veronica Matthews. Veronica, thank you so much for coming in for questioning.
Thank you for having me. This is going to be fun.
It is. You said that like a question, but I promise it will be a statement by the end of this show.
We'll see. Okay.
We'll circle back on that.
All right.
So in a moment, I'm going to offer up prompts about crimes and criminals in varying styles that either contain real-life facts about the crimes or purely fabricated phoniness.
Sure. Okay. How long did you spend on these questions?
Oh, goodness, a fair amount of time. I'm the full research department for this show at the moment, so it definitely took a little bit of time.
Okay.
I'd say like a week and a half.
Okay. A week and a half. All right. So that's a good amount of time to come up with some fake questions.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah.
I feel like I want to ask, do you have a sample question? So I know ahead of time what kind of vibe I'm getting in.
You can ask that. Ask me if I have a sample question.
Do you have a sample question?
I'm not going to give you a sample question.
Okay. All right. It's fair.
So here's how the game works. Odd number prompts are always true crime, false crime. And that means that I'm going to tell you about a crime, and then you answer with either true crime or false crime.
Sure.
And then correct answers to those will get you 1 point for each of them. Okay. And then even number prompts can be one of the 5 different prompt styles that are seen before you. And you get to choose those. But then once you choose it, that prompt style is gone for the game. So you only get each one time.
Okay.
And those are all worth 2 points. And then our final question of the game is always last meal, which is where I tell you about the last meal that somebody on death row had before they kicked the bucket.
Okay.
And those are worth 5 points.
Okay. Where do I get extra credit?
There is no extra credit.
I don't like that.
But I'll tell you, you can earn up to 20 points. Nobody's gotten 20 points yet.
Okay. I'm not going to get 20 points. That's not going to happen.
So that's why you wanted the extra credit.
I want to get a point. That is my goal. If I can get 1 point, I would be super duper over the moon.
I think you can get 1 point. I believe in, even if you're just guessing, just statistically,
sure,
you're going to get 1 point.
You know, I'm a statistical anomaly just in my life. So, I appreciate your confidence, but we'll see.
That's a really good nickname too,
The statistical anomaly. Yeah, that's my bad superhero name.
I love it. All right. You ready to get going? You understand the rules? Any questions?
Yeah, why not?
All right, let's do it. We're kicking it off with a true crime, false crime prompt. And here is our first one. In 1992, Cindy Levine was pulled over for speeding in the town of North York, California. As the officer approached her vehicle, Levine sped away, resulting in a 30-mile car chase. When she was eventually detained, she confessed that she was under the influence of a powerful hallucinogen, which caused her to perceive the officer that pulled her over as a demon from another world. Is that a true crime or a false crime?
Okay, so let's go over this again.
Sure.
All right, Cindy Levine.
Cindy Levine.
That sounds like that could be a true name.
Sure.
That could be a real name.
Sure.
I've heard both of the names, Cindy as a first name and Levine as a last name. You combine them, I guess that could be a first.
I don't know if this changes your opinion. It's Cindy with an S.
That does change my opinion. But that, okay, I mean, I know that is a thing that exists, but that's throwing me for a loop. I'm going to be honest. Okay, so Cindy with an S. S-I-N-D-I or Y?
Y.
Okay.
An S and an I would be just barbaric.
Yeah.
I think.
Okay. All right. So Cindy Levine, L-A or L-E?
L-E.
Okay, that helps.
Good question.
From North York.
North York, California.
Is that one word or 2 words?
That is 2 words.
Okay. I have lived in many different places in California. I have never heard of North York, California.
Okay.
Now, see, what I'm trying to do is get a vibe on whether you would would 95% of the thing be true? But it's like, no, I'm sorry. That wasn't true. It was South York, California.
That is also a really good question. We are devious on true crime, false crime, but not that devious.
Okay.
So if it's false, it's totally false. If it's true, it's true.
Okay, so she got pulled over by a cop, or she got pulled over, but then she kept going.
So the officer, as it says in the prompt, as the officer approached her vehicle, Levine sped away, resulting in a 30-mile car chase.
Okay, so you did the research on this.
Yes.
Where did you find this?
Oh, all over the internet.
Where did you find this one specifically?
Oh, I don't know where I found this. There are over 200 prompts in this game. I don't remember where this one was from.
What are all the sources of where you found all of your
You can check my bibliography at the end of the episode.
I don't think I won't. I will.
It will be MLA formatted just for you.
Okay, good. It's got to be standard. I'll go with it's true. Why not?
That is a false crime.
Yeah.
Kicking things off with the wrong answer. I love it.
I'm on the goal for 0 points.
There we go. All right, so now you get to choose. We have person of interest, it's the law, reverse round, sentenced, and have you seen that doc? What kind of prompt would you like for this question?
Okay, first of all, I'm going to save the reverse round because I still need more time to think about I'm not going to give you my strategy.
That's
also,
probably a good
I'm
idea.
just going to let you know I am actually very competitive, and I know I'm going to lose, and I'm already very frustrated about the fact that I know I'm going to lose. I just want to, I want to be the worst or the best. So if I'm not the best, that's why I want to get 0 points.
Fair enough.
So once I get going and I get 2 or 3, I'm just going to hope I'm going to keep watching these and make sure that nobody else gets more than 2 or 3. And then once someone else gets less, I am going to go on a She-Hulk rampage. Anyways, I am going to go with, let's go with sentenced.
Sentenced. Lovely. All right, here is your sentencing prompt. As punishment for arson in the first degree, you are hereby sentenced to 60 days in jail, 3 years of probation, and you must stand beside the property you burnt down wearing a t-shirt that says, "I am a heartless arsonist who burnt down this orphanage." Is that a real sentencing or a false sentencing?
So in terms of a real sentencing, it's not like your standard sentencing. If this happened one time as a sentencing.
Mm-hmm. And I'll tell you, in the research for this, there are some judges like to have fun with their sentencings. And I've found, unfortunately, the reason they get creative is because of overcrowding in American prisons.
Sure.
Because they're kind of hit their quota of there's too many prisoners in our area, so let's get creative.
Right. So now what you're either doing is leading me towards a correct answer because you feel bad for me,
No.
or you're deviating from making me think oh, this could be a real answer, and then it's not. And then I will have so much vitriol that I will have to suppress throughout the rest of this podcast. I'm going to go with this is true. Which one was it?
This is a false sentencing.
I'm very filled with lots of hate and anger right now.
Let's cross off sentenced. No more sentencings. Moving on to another true crime.
I don't trust you.
False crime. You shouldn't.
I do
That's
not
kind
trust
of the
you.
premise of this entire show.
Good.
So you're getting it right.
So the distrust I have in general humanity, that's just really concentrated in you right now.
It is personified in me.
Fantastic.
Yep, you gotta love it. In 2007, the city of Modesto, California.
That is a real city. Okay.
Fact, Modesto is a real city. No points for that, but it is true. In 2007, the city of Modesto, California was terrorized by a serial flasher. The flasher was described as an average height white man with a tattoo of a shamrock on his chest, wearing a rubber Richard Nixon mask. The flashings would continue for the next 4 months, sometimes multiple times in one day. The police found no pattern or connection to the locations the flasher was hitting or the people that were being flashed. Ultimately, the flasher made the mistake of flashing future NFL player Isaiah Burse, who chased him down and tackled him to the ground. Police arrested Tory Lash, who admitted to being one of 5 men who had been terrorizing the town with flashings.
And you said, did you say what year this was?
This was in 2007.
2007. Okay. So you said it was someone who had a shamrock tattoo.
Correct.
Where was the shamrock tattoo?
The shamrock tattoo was on the flasher's chest.
On the flasher's chest.
Mm-hmm.
But it ended up being 5 different people.
It did.
So all of these people would have had to have the same shamrock tattoo.
Or a temporary tattoo.
Or a temporary tattoo. Now, I will tell you that you said it was, what was the description again? White?
It was a average height white man with a tattoo of a shamrock on his chest wearing a rubber Richard Nixon mask.
Now, that does sound like your standard flasher. I will give you that.
It does.
So I like to believe, do I believe in magic? I do.
That's good.
I like to think that all of these could be true.
Sure. They all can be true.
I also like to go off the premise that, let's say it's true and I get it right. Great. But if I say it's true and then you say, no, it's false, then it solidifies the fact that you are a liar and that you're lying to me.
Again, pretty much the premise of this show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll go with it's true.
This is a false crime.
I hate you so much.
Then we're doing right. Pick your next prompt style. We still have left person of interest, it's the law, reverse round. Have you seen that, Doc?
Yeah. Okay. So, I'm having so much fun.
Good.
We're going to go with it's the law.
It's the law. I love it's the law. All right. In Rhode Island, owning a monkey and a giraffe is illegal, but you may own either individually.
Okay, so there's got to be a reason for that, right?
Presumably.
Now, again, I'm probably going to say true because I'm now like, I'm not going to win, clearly. So I'm going to try to go for the 0 points.
Okay.
Okay.
Which would be a record in and of itself.
That's what I'm saying. If I can't set the best record, I will set the worst record.
And by the way this works is at the end of the season, the top 3 point earners are going to come back. We're going to do a live episode where we compete to be the champion of the season.
You didn't tell me that.
Yeah.
If I had known that, I would have wanted to come back.
Well,
like, I would have
you
really
still have the capability to.
I do not have the How many people are going to be on this?
We think the first season is going to be 10 episodes.
10 episodes. Mm-hmm. So I would have to be in the top 3 out of 10.
You can still get, let's see, we have 2 points that we're working on right now. And then you've got 2 for each of the remaining ones. You've got 1 for all the true crimes left. And you can get 5 for the last meal. I think our high score right now is 12 out of 20. You can turn it around if you want, but I respect you wanting to stay at either the top or the bottom.
Knowing that now I'm trying to make this like the bottom, like being at the very bottom.
Sure.
How do you feel about coming up with, like, by the end of the season, once I, like, let's say I get 0, that's the goal now, because again, I'm going to lose. I've told you this is what's going to happen.
Sure.
You are going to come up with, like, a commemorative, like, loser's prize.
I do love a good participation trophy.
And then have me on. I don't have to play the game, because obviously I'm very bad at it.
Yeah.
But have me on and do a prize just for me for being so bad, but also owning it.
I'm not against that idea by any stretch of the imagination. So,
okay.
Do you want to hear this law again?
So in Rhode Island,
yes,
there's a law that says you cannot own both a giraffe and a monkey.
Correct, but you can own either individually.
Is that because they feel like the monkey alone is fine, the giraffe alone is fine, but together there will be a lot of monkey business?
Ooh, probably.
Okay. Where did you find this one?
Again, all over the internet. There's so many wacky laws most of these are United States wacky laws, because there's also way more crazy laws from around the country,
blue
around
laws,
the world.
as they call them.
Yes.
Yeah. Again, I'm going on a streak. I'm just going to say this one's true.
This is false. This is not a real law. I promise there are true ones in here, but
Good. I'm going to start guessing false now.
All right. Let's see how that goes for you. On to our next true crime, false crime.
Let's see.
In 1967, Officer Earl Fox arrested Dewey Frazier for possession of a Schedule I narcotic with intention to distribute. Upon his arrest, Frazier offered Officer Fox a bribe to keep his mouth shut and set him free. After Fox got Frazier to raise the bribe from $1,000 to $2,500, they shook on the agreement. Moments later, the task force that Dewey, whose real name was Detective Alton Nelson, was leading, descended on the scene and arrested Fox, who had been accepting bribes for nearly a decade. So it was a sting operation for a bribe acceptor. What do you think?
What year was this?
This was in 1967. Probably a good year for sting operations.
And where did this take place?
We don't actually have that information, I don't believe. Let me see. No, we don't have that information.
I'm because, like, you know, as an actress, I try to get into the head of, like, you know, I imagine, I go there, and if I can't go there in my head, did this take place in Mississippi? Did this take place in Ohio? Did this take place in New Brunswick? That's in Canada.
Thank you for the New Brunswick reference.
You are welcome.
And it changes your opinion of the prompt if it's in a different place.
It does, very much so.
Interesting.
I'm like real estate. I'm all about location.
Okay.
And since I don't have that, say the whole thing again.
Okay. In 1967, Officer Earl Fox arrested Dewey Frazier for possession of a Schedule I narcotic with intention to distribute.
What was the name again?
With the officer or the...
Both.
Okay, Officer Earl Fox.
Okay, that's a fake name. But
arrested Dewey Frazier.
Another fake name.
For possession of a Schedule I narcotic with intention to distribute. Upon his arrest, Frazier offered Fox a bribe to keep his mouth shut and set him free. Fox got Frazier to raise the bribe from $1,000 to $2,500, and they shook on the agreement. Moments later, the task force that Dewey, whose real name was Detective Alton Nelson,
fake name,
was leading, descended on the scene and arrested Officer Earl Fox, who had been accepting bribes for nearly a decade.
Okay, so I actually think that's true, but I've said true for the last 4 ones, so I'm going to say false crime.
You are correct. That is a false crime.
No! Oh, God.
There's your 1 point. No longer a 0-pointer, but that's all right if you ask me. All right, so let's cross off It's the Law from that last round. That's no longer an option. What do you think? Person of interest, reverse round, or have you seen that, Doc?
I'm probably going to save reverse round for last, so let's go with have you seen that, Doc?
Have you seen that, Doc? Love a good
So before you do that, what's the max points I can get?
20.
No, I mean now that it's obviously not 20 anymore.
2 in our hand, 4, 6, I think 9, 14 is a possible score, which could be the leading score. Our leading score right now is 12.
Okay.
You ready?
No.
Well, we're going to go ahead anyway.
Fine.
All right. So this is, have you seen that, Doc? This is either a documentary or docu-series and a log line, a little bit of what the documentary or docu-series is about.
Okay.
So the title...
I'm going to just tell you right now, I have not seen the doc.
Okay.
I have not seen the docu-series.
Okay.
I do not watch true crime. That's why I came into this knowing I would fail.
Well...
I watch comedy because I don't understand. I don't understand watching true crime stuff. Like, it's so... Like, I know humanity sucks. I know it's very depressing. I hear enough of this, like, on the sideline. Like,
sure.
Why? I don't get horror either. I don't understand it. Like, why do you need to get scared? Like, I get it. For some people, that's where they get their kicks, their jollies.
Sure.
I watch comedy. You know why? Because I like to laugh.
Fair enough.
It's a challenge for me. My life is so sad and depressing as it is. I don't need, like, more on top of that to remind me.
I get that.
But please, ask the question. The answer is I have not seen the doc, but I will still try to guess whether it's a real doc or not.
All right. The title of the documentary is Long in the Tooth, and it is The Absurd Recollections of America's Oldest Cannibal. Is that a real documentary or a fake documentary? Long in the Tooth. The Absurd Recollections of America's Oldest Cannibal.
What is this streaming on?
We don't have that information.
When did it come out?
We don't have that information.
What was the name of the cannibal?
We don't have that information.
I'm going to say it's false.
That is a fake documentary. You are absolutely right. Let's cross off, have you seen that, Doc?
So you said there would be true ones.
I did. So here's...
No.
These are completely random.
But hold on. Oh, so you don't like go through before and make sure, okay, we'll have some true and we'll have some false.
No, totally random, including to me. I have no idea what order these are in.
I've answered, 6 questions?
Yeah.
Every single one has been false.
That's random.
So you said you have about 200 prompts,
yes.
right? Or is it like 100 true?
50-50.
It is.
It is.
And yet all 6 have been false.
Yeah. The only one that's not 50-50 is Last Meal because it is an odd number of prompts. So there is one more fake than there is real. But the rest of them, 50-50 right down the middle, but then completely randomized in order.
And yet all 6 so far have been false.
Yeah. Randomized by an algorithm too, not even by a human being. They were randomized by an algorithm and then printed in the order that the algorithm put them in.
This is miserable. I am miserable.
I'm glad you're having a good time. On to the next true crime, false crime. In 1939.
That's a real year.
Write that down. In 1939, Leonarda Cianciulli, I believe, an Italian woman, if you couldn't tell. Leonarda Cianciulli.
How do you spell Cianciulli?
Cianciulli.
Oh, Cianciulli.
Oh, Cianciulli.
Okay.
Leonarda Cianciulli, an Italian woman, found out that her favorite and eldest son was enlisting in the Italian army. She thought that human sacrifices were the only way to guarantee his safety. She killed 3 neighborhood residents over the period of a few months. After that, she boiled their bodies and made tea cakes and soap out of them, which she gave to her friends and neighbors.
So this is Leonarda
Cianciulli.
When you make up the false crimes,
Sure.
what is that process like?
In terms of how I come up with them?
Yes.
I usually use different like random generators so that it's not even biased by my own brain. Like I'll use one random generator for first names and then one random generator for last names and then randomly generate a town, randomly generate a year. That way it's not even me coming up with them. It's a computer.
Okay. All right. Again, I really like... See, now I am so mixed right now because now I have a few points. So, like...
So you're getting more competitive.
Yes and no, because I still don't think I'm going... It's like I don't want to get, like, false sense of hope.
Sure.
You know, I don't want to be like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna run the rest of the board. It's going to be unprecedented. You're going to be talking about how Veronica came on. She was all like...
Historic run.
She was doing so poorly, and she was like, I'm going to get 0 points. But then she got 2 points. And then she got the next one, and she nailed
Just
every one.
snowballed through the whole rest of the
And so
episode.
here we go. Veronica, come on back for the final.
You're going to win the belt.
See, what's going to happen is, like, I'm starting to think like that, and that is not going to happen.
That's not true.
It is not going to happen.
It can happen.
You have already gave me so many falsehoods today that
I love this game.
I've had it up to here.
Well, let's get it up to here. What do you think about Leonarda Cianciulli?
Just based on the name alone, I want this to be true, so I'll say it's a true crime.
This is a true crime.
Okay.
There are some true crimes out there.
I was going more on, like, statistics more than anything.
That's a good thing to go on. All right, what do you think? Person of interest? Reverse round.
Again, yeah, I'm going to say reverse round for the last one.
Fair enough. We're moving on to person of interest. Richard Dick Purchase. Soliciting a prostitute. Is that a real person who did a real crime? Or a fake person who did a fake crime? Richard Dick Purchase.
I'm letting that marinate. It's simmering, it's marinating. It's percolating.
Sure.
Richard Dick Purchase.
Just a terrible nickname for a name.
Was his middle name William or Willie?
That is not included in this prompt.
True story. I have a cousin named Richard William Matthews.
Oh, Dick Willie.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
that's unfortunate.
Yeah, I know.
Shout out to Dick Willie.
That's right. So I know what I just said was true.
That does not, unfortunately, garner you any points.
But why not?
That's just not how this game works.
Okay. All right.
Otherwise, anybody could just be coming in, talking about true things,
Sure.
talking about false things,
That could be a thing.
getting a bunch of points.
Why not? Why isn't that the show?
Spin-off.
I could come in and just say just things that are true, and the truer they are, the more points I get. I like that because it's based on purity,
Go ahead.
not these games of deception.
Sure.
That you're playing off.
Come back with a pitch deck, and we can probably get this produced.
I feel like that's a falsehood. Okay.
Richard
Dick
Purchase.
Soliciting
a prostitute.
Soliciting a prostitute. I've been burned so many times before. I want to believe this is true. I know there's no, I'm gonna, So when you come up with these,
Yes.
what's your method for that?
I kind of just research, like wacky criminal names. Because, like, there are a lot of criminals who, in spite of being named something that could be associated with a crime, still go ahead and do that crime anyway.
Sure. But how do you come up with the false ones?
Similar concept, but with, like, okay, what's a name that could also be associated with a crime?
I'm going to go with false.
You are correct. That is a false name, a false person of interest. Person of interest is now off the board. We're moving on to our last true crime, false crime. So we have one more true crime, false crime, one reverse round, and then our last meal.
Okay.
Here we go. In 1986, Annie and Jessica Andrews screamed as they ran out of their house in Townsend, Massachusetts. Is that a real place?
Yes, I've heard of that.
Okay.
I think.
They alleged...
Now I don't know.
They alleged that their mother was haunting them after they found the following message written in blood on their basement wall. "I'm in your room. Come and find me." Their father, Frank Bowen, initially dismissed this as his daughter's idea of a sick prank. But when it happened again, Frank went to investigate and found 16-year-old Danny LaPlante wearing his late wife's clothes, makeup, and a blonde wig holding a hatchet. True crime or false crime?
Okay, so these are the Andrews sisters.
These are not the Andrews sisters, but they are a set of sisters with the surname Andrews.
Okay, so they're fake Andrews sisters.
Well, if that's how you want to
They're the
classify them.
false Andrews sisters.
Sure.
Okay, so already off to a bad start.
Okay.
So this got real convoluted, but let me try to follow.
Sure.
So the Andrews sisters were making claims that like their mom was spooking them or something.
correct.
Haunting them. Mm-hmm. Okay, haunting means that the mom's dead, right?
The mom is dead.
The mom is dead.
Mom's dead.
Okay, Mama be gone.
Mama be gone. Mama been gone.
All right, Mama be gone. So Mama be gone, haunting.
Have you seen that doc? Mama be gone?
Mama be gone?
It's not a real doc.
Okay. I've got that queued after Long in the Tooth. So, Mama Be Gone, Andrew's sisters, not the real ones, the fakey fake ones.
Yes.
They are getting haunted by what they think is their mom, just based on because they see some sort of image of her. They're like what they think is their mom, and then there's writings on the wall.
Yes.
About like
in blood.
Come to the room, blah blah blah. It's blood or whatever it is.
Sure.
Looks like blood. And then what does the husband do?
He dismisses it as a prank.
Sure.
The first time. And then the second time he goes to investigate, and when he goes to investigate, he finds 16-year-old Danny LaPlante wearing his late wife's clothes, makeup, and a blonde wig holding a hatchet.
And then what happens?
I'm not privy to that information.
I want to know what happens after that.
I would venture a guess that Danny is arrested.
Sure, but why? Okay, so again, there has to be, like, the numbers would say that there's more that are true. Like, just, again, like...
I'll tell you, that's not true. It's 50-50.
It was 50-50, but now we've gotten so many false ones.
It's 50-50.
There's slightly more true ones than false ones left.
It's 50-50 out of all of them.
It's like when you're counting cards with blackjack or playing poker.
If you're counting cards, we're going to have to get security.
I don't see anyone that can take me out.
What do you think? True crime, false crime?
I'll go with true crime.
This is a true crime!
Okay, all right.
Fantastic. You got the last true crime, false crime right. That is I think, a good omen. You might disagree. I know you were shooting for a little bit lower. Reverse round.
Okay.
So, again, here's how reverse round works. Okay. You try and convince me of a crime. It could be true. You might know about a crime, although you've said you don't really go in on the whole true crime thing, so I don't think that's going to be the case. Or you try and convince me of a crime whenever you're ready.
Okay, I'm not ready.
Okay.
I will never be ready.
All right.
But I was trying to think of just anything that I have heard of as a crime.
Okay.
And I don't like horror and like stuff like that.
Okay.
You do know that. I've said that. I will be very, very clear about it.
It's on the record.
I do like vampires.
Okay.
That is like the one thing. I've written a lot of scripts with vampires.
Okay.
I wrote a pilot once called Diary of a Pacifist Vampire.
I love that.
So I will look into the vampire stuff.
Okay.
So I do remember reading one thing about, I don't remember the name. It was somewhere, like it was either in or around Transylvania.
Okay.
There was, I don't think the person's name was Vlad, but it was some sort of like imposter or mimic, kind of like someone who wanted to make it seem like, you know, they were a vampire. They were, I don't remember the exact details, but something about like, you know, biting, sucking out blood, but they wouldn't do it on the neck. It was like more in the genital region.
Southern hemisphere.
The southern hemisphere.
Sure.
Yeah, the front, not the back.
Okay.
Like in that, like in the groinal area.
Sure.
And they eventually caught the guy, and the thing was, it was, I want to say it was like, I don't know, sometime in the last 100 years.
Okay.
Like I remember 19 something.
It's a broad scope.
But I don't remember. And yeah, he was targeting males. So that's all I remember about it.
Okay.
That was a thing. Yeah. Again,
Okay.
I don't know many crime stuff.
So we have an imposter vampire
Yeah.
biting people below the belt.
Somewhere in Eastern Europe, I think maybe near Transylvania, which is like Romania. I think.
One of the Anias.
Albania.
Yeah. Maybe a Slavia.
Maybe a Slavia. There's a couple.
There's a few. There used to be more.
There used to be that big one, Yugoslavia. And then they're like, no, we are all breaking up.
I'm going to say that this is a fake crime. You've made this up.
Of course I made this up.
So that means you do not get the points.
Yeah, I knew I wouldn't.
For reverse round. And we are on to our final prompt, which is last meal.
Okay.
So I'm going to tell you about a last meal that a death row inmate had before they were put to death.
Allegedly.
Well,
no, I mean like
50%, nearly 50% allegedly, and then 50%.
How many?
There's 15 in total.
15 overall.
Yes, only for last meal. And
so the 8 out of 7 are fake.
Correct.
But you've already used one, right?
I've used 2.
You've used 2.
Yeah.
Which ones were those?
Oh, they're in a secure.
No, I mean, were
safe.
they fake or true?
That's a great question. I think it was 50-50. I think we had one fake and one real.
So now it's 7 and 6.
Leave a comment if that's true.
Wait, people are watching this?
Oh, there's a camera here. Yes. Hopefully there are people watching and listening to this wherever you consume your video, media, and podcasts. Are you ready for the last meal?
We're going to edit this all, right?
We'll see how much is edited.
There'll be like 10 usable seconds, right?
I don't know. I had a lot of fun during this.
I'm glad somebody did.
All right. Here we go. The last meal. 3 Burger King Whoppers. 2 large fries, chocolate shake, chocolate chip ice cream, and 1 pack of grape Hubba Bubba bubble gum. Is that a real last meal or a fake last meal?
Oh, God.
3 Burger King Whoppers.
3 Burger King Whoppers.
2 large fries.
This sounds like a weird version of the 12 Days of Christmas.
Chocolate shake, chocolate chip ice cream, and 1 pack of Hubba Bubba bubble gum.
So the only beverage was the shake?
That is a very good question, and yes. But also, if you're a little parched when you die, I don't think you're really that bothered.
But it's your last meal. You don't want to like suffer through your last meal. Like
that's true, but it is a last meal and not a last drink. 3 Burger King Whoppers.
I'm gonna 3 burger.
2 large fries.
2 large fries. A chocolate shake.
Chocolate chip ice cream.
Chocolate chip ice cream.
And 1 pack of grape Hubba Bubba bubble gum.
I mean, I believe this could be true. I'm not saying it's true. I believe it could be true.
Sure.
I don't want this to be true.
Okay.
I feel
that's fair enough.
This is like someone wants fast food for their final meal, but this combination of foods.
It's not great.
The Whopper, the fries, fine. Fries go with Whoppers, but I also don't like the mismatch of numbers. You get 3 Whoppers, have 3 fries. Why don't you have 1 fry per Whopper? I don't like that. I don't like that. Let me reiterate, I don't like that.
That'll also be on the record.
I don't like the redundancy
of chocolate shake and chocolate chip ice cream.
I don't like that.
I agree
and I
with
don't
that.
like chocolate chip ice cream.
Same.
If you're gonna get either get chocolate chip cookie dough or get cookies and cream.
Sure.
That's obviously the best ice cream, the best standard.
I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Everyone loves cookies and cream.
Do you know some people like bubblegum ice cream?
Oh, and I don't feel safe now in this room. Okay. And then See, the thing is whoever's getting their last meal is obviously batshit crazy.
Obviously.
And so this would fit in with that. I'm going to say it's fake.
This is a real last meal. It was Joseph Mitchell Parsons' last meal. Oh my goodness. What's the final point tally?
7.
Veronica, you knew it too. You already knew you had 7 points. Thank you so much for being on the show. Before this episode kicks the bucket, do you have any last words?
This needs to be shut down. This is a horrible experience. No, if anyone gets to see this before potentially coming on, just get out of the house. Get out. Don't get out. This is the real horror, okay? I appreciate what you're trying to do, but this is real torture. I don't ever want to experience this again. I know I'm not going to get called back, and I know I'm not going to have the last amount of points. So I did a very mediocre job.
I think you do have the least right now, if that makes you feel any better. No, you don't have the least anymore.
So I'm just in the middle.
You have the least amount of points. Congratulations.
Okay, so there's been 2 other people.
Yeah.
So now I know that there have to be 6 other people who come on.
Right.
And I have to do better than all 6 of those people. So all 6 of those people have to get 6 points or less. That is not happening.
It could.
It is not happening.
It's possible.
And now I either have to hope that happens or 6 people all get 7 or more than 7 points. So I'm last.
Yeah.
That is not going to happen.
It could.
It's not going to happen.
It's possible.
It's not going to happen. And guess what? I am going to leave here feeling so mediocre, which is the worst feeling to have. You want to either be the best or the worst, because the worst is the best at being the worst.
That's a unique take on being the worst, and I am going to apply that to my life from now on.
Being in second place is the first loser. Just remember that.
Yeah.
And
if you're not first, you're last. Unless you're last, and then you're first at the worst.
I'm going to go, I guess, to celebrate. I'm going to go to Burger King and get some chocolate chip ice cream.
Just make sure that your fries are a mismatched number to how many Whoppers you get.
I'm going to get 17 Whoppers and -3 fries.
Veronica, it was a pleasure having you on True Crime, False Crime. Thank you so much. And thank you, everybody, for listening. We hope you enjoyed it. If you have any true crimes or fake crimes you'd like featured on the show, you can tweet us at truecrimefalse or email us at truecrimefalsecrime@gmail.com. We would love to hear from you. And we'll be back soon with another exciting edition of True Crime, False Crime. Until then, I am Jordan Katcher. Stay true or false.
It's always false.
This was a Little Bit Fastenau production.